I am Jeff.
They call me Bruce.
Guinea John coming at you.
And it is time to buckle up, because you are taking the Cynic route.
Where raunchy wit and nostalgia meet bootleg intellect.
We got pessimistic minds and optimistic hearts. If you're easily offended, then it's time that you depart. A bunch of dicks from Baltimore trying to figure out what the fuck is going on and what this life's about. Taking the Cynic route.
On this episode, we talk about how Kiss sucks, how Full House Uncle Jesse is inferior to Dukes of Hazzard Uncle Jesse, eating healthy and how we should, Kevin Spacey, and Pulp Fiction versus Reservoir Dogs. Taking the Cynic route. Enjoy.
Seriously, this song is called Love Gun, and it's about Paul Stanley's dick. Now this girl's gonna get some of his dick.
Cool. I didn't know Jews could sing like that.
No, they couldn't at the time. That's why they had to dress like clowns.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of any bands that wore makeup and teased their hair.
Like Poison and
Yeah, I can't
Faster
do it.
Pussycat.
I know a lot of people that love them.
I can't even do like
Motley
Motley Crue.
Crue.
Right, yeah.
Doesn't do it for me. But hey.
Yeah,
to
big
each his
nostalgia
own.
thing. If you catch it at the right part of your adolescence, and it means it's the spectacle, like Kiss is garbage. That's absolute junk food.
They're crap
You
then.
know,
They're crap
but I know
now.
people that if they heard me say that, they would get so
They have
pissed.
one of the biggest fan bases out there.
Well, it's funny because I think it was of a certain era. I have friends of mine that are 10 years older than me, and they think Kiss is like the greatest band that ever existed.
Right.
Because, it was such, there was such outrage. And I mean, it's so weird to think that, just because Kiss wore makeup and spit blood and stuff, it was like the huge thing, the church was attacking it. So it was almost rebellious for kids that age,
Right.
That's exactly what they,
Yeah, it's like hip hop now.
Right. But yeah, me not living through that, I just think they're garbage. I find them pretty much unlistenable.
There was one time, I don't know what year it was, but at the height of Kiss, where they put out this comic book, and like, I don't know if all four of them did it,
their
but
own blood.
They put their blood into the red ink at the factory or something. That's something. I mean, you could never do that today. I mean, bloodborne pathogens and all that shit.
I'm pretty sure it.
I don't think you really have to worry about that.
If you get a paper cut on a comic book, I don't think you're getting AIDS from it, no matter what they put in the ink.
The 3 drops of Paul Stanley's Hep C-infested blood in the 55-gallon vat of red ink, I don't think it's going to do a whole lot.
I'm sure the heat boiled it out.
All right, well, all right.
But who knows?
Take away all my fun.
Maybe they started it, man.
Maybe they gave everyone AIDS through their comic book.
It's possible. I mean, I'm pretty sure I caught AIDS through their music, so I guess it's not that far off.
Their music definitely gave me a case of ear gonorrhea.
Right. My ears got the sif.
Maybe that's maybe I should be thankful that there wasn't really great music when I was at that stage, and it forced me to delve like backwards.
Yes, that's what I did. I did that.
So I really fell in love with 60s and 70s rock, and
there were some good singles in the 80s, like Take On Me and Boys of Summer. Like, there's some good
90s
singles.
too. There's some good singles.
Albums, not so much. Lesser so albums.
Yeah. I enjoy a lot of petty stuff from the 80s. That would probably be the one band that spent their core in that decade that I really respect.
Yeah, I can remember, like when I started buying my own records, like 7-inch records, I'd like go to Ames, and I can remember buying like Madonna's True Blue on like blue vinyl.
I remember that. I bought like a version
when that
was
came
one of my
out,
first vinyl buys.
So I can remember buying like all this real poppy, popular shit. And then I can remember,
I think it's an age thing.
like when Run DMC and Aerosmith did Walk This Way, that like
huge.
opened up a whole new world to me.
That was
There was like a
huge.
brief time where I started buying rap records, And like I remember buying like the Fat Boys tape and like make my mom listen to it like on the way home from the White Marsh Mall.
My God.
And just like there's a song about rubbers on there, and her and my aunt were just like cracking up, just like do you even know what the hell this
was?
Is
This right around the time that you swung the bag of bagels around in your kitchen and clocked yourself?
No, I was old when that happened. I was like fucking like that was like 2 years ago. I was like in my 20s.
I remember their movie.
Disorderlies.
Yeah, Disorderlies.
But yeah, I can remember, and like Salt and Pepper. I remember Push It was like a big thing. I remember buying that.
Crisscross.
But yeah, no, that was a little bit later. But yeah, I totally remember like when I got that Run DMC Walk This Way single, I remember bringing it home and listening to it, and my dad coming home and my mom just going to my dad, "This is what your son listens to now," just like so disapprovingly.
That was so huge when that came out.
Oh yeah, it was ridiculous, and it was really
It's good shit.
It boosted Aerosmith back into popularity again too, because they were really kind of waning.
Yeah, they were
that was like pre like Love in an Elevator and all that stuff.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah, there's
kind
a
of gave them
distinct
a big second wind.
two separate halves to their career. It was
Right,
like this like dead.
The good
fucking-
half, and then
yeah.
they should have had that second wind.
But some of the earliest records I bought were Def Leppard Pyromania.
Mm-hmm.
I bought Like a Virgin by Madonna. I bought Bryan Adams' Reckless. Those were three that stand out from my memory. That had like Heaven and
Summer '69.
Summer '69 and I Need Somebody, and then Run to You was on there. The Outfield
That's a
Play
good
Deep
fucking album.
was good, except I checked that out of my library, I think.
I remember I bought the Cocktail soundtrack
Oh my God.
with Bobby McFerrin and like.
Oh, that's terrible.
Like that time Bobby McFerrin fell down the stairs.
That was Family Guy,
Yes,
right?
Family Guy. Yeah.
That's good.
Oh, I thought you just came up. Oh, damn it!
I wish.
Damn it! I was going to be so proud of you. It's such a good joke. It's totally not yours.
So,
But yeah, and then it wasn't long after that I guess I was probably like 11 or 12 or something. I bought Seventh Son of the Seventh Son, the Iron Maiden record. It's like I started getting into because I always liked horror movies and monsters and stuff growing up. So it was actually the album art that drew me to that more than the music to begin with. Because I didn't really know anything about heavy metal, but I bought it and started listening to it. I'm like, wow, this is something different and crazy. And I don't hear about this on the radio.
one of the first impressions I had, it was my older brother's album, and I think it was GNR. I want to say it was Lies. It was either Lies or one of the Use Your Illusions. But it had this chick on the inside, like
No, that was
it?
that was the Appetite for Destruction one. That was the original.
You're right.
Oh, it was like you opened it up or something, or
Opened
maybe
it
you
up,
slid it
yeah.
out, and it was like the actual.
That was like one of the
paper
first things I
sleeve.
jerked off to. And it was just, yeah.
It's like that monster with like knives for
Appetite
teeth
for
or
Destruction,
whatever,
that
right?
makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah. Yeah, I remember that because that like was really controversial when that came out. I think like they reissued it without that art on the inside because it was pretty graphic. Like her tit was hanging out or
Tits
something.
were out.
Right? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, no, that was a big record too. I remember when that first came out.
Yeah, my brother was a huge Guns N' Roses
Yeah.
fan. Well, he's like the same age as you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, pretty much to a T. So,
and that album, surprisingly, as far as a lot of that hair metal stuff goes, that most of it I just think is just the dregs. But surprisingly, the Guns N' Roses stuff is actually
their stuff is great.
Right,
because they were good
surprisingly
music.
holds
That's
up
it,
really well.
right there.
Yeah.
Let me see. Yep, totally
There it is.
I remember that now.
Yeah,
Damn.
I was like 10.
Are you gonna be reliving some times later tonight?
Nah, there's.
How could you jerk
way
off
better
to that?
things. I don't. It's one of the first titties you ever see.
Hey,
even if
pre-internet?
even if it's drawn.
You had to take what you can get. Man.
Yeah, I
Pre-internet.
mean, I guess I was a little bit spoiled because we had the number one. We had older kids in the neighborhood, so they'd always have like woods porn. Like they'd have like a stash of porn magazines out in the woods.
That's way later.
Right.
Oh wow, interesting.
So me and the other kids go look. We didn't know anything, but we just knew that you weren't supposed to be looking at it, and there was naked girls.
Oh yeah. We walked past Mr. Calvin's house, and we just happened to look in his trash can, and there it was, this glorious fucking issue of Blacktail. And we pulled it out, we shoved it under our shirt, and we proceeded to the woods for some reason, where we all just like looked at it in a circle. Okay. And
What else
like,
did you do in a circle?
Holy shit. No, there's none of that. But so we looked at it, then we feared we were going to get in trouble. So we just chucked it in the woods. And then all of us had the idea, we were like, you know what? We're going back. And we went back.
Individually?
Yes, individually. Like, we saw Jesse go after first. We just all, like, we're like, wait a minute. He's not getting it. And then we also try and go to it. And at this point, it was, like, wet.
Right.
And
Obviously.
from
Of course,
rain.
I bet it was. Yeah, rain.
From
Sure.
rain.
How much time
Sure.
elapsed between?
A day,
Oh,
maybe.
my God.
It, like, rained that night.
all
we
like
all,
waterlogged.
like, after it stopped raining, everyone
That's
went back to
hilarious.
try and
You wake
get
up and like you're jonesing for like a
Jones
Blacktail.
from Blacktail.
jonesing to rub one out. Like I need that.
Well, it's funny because even like the first times I saw like porn, like I don't even think I knew what the hell jerking off was. I was under the impression people that jerked off were fags. I mean, no, when you're a kid, you didn't know. I mean, there wasn't. It was way before. I mean, that's what you'd hear from the neighborhood kids.
Yeah, so I sort of stumbled upon it by accident. Like you start like rubbing or touching. Oh, that feels good, and you climb the mountain. Eventually, then you get to the top. And
All
then
right.
whatever.
Now we're getting too intimate.
Yeah, but anyway, I found like my dad had like a Playboy in his room, like 1979 or whatever. Like to think now with all that's available out there to have at the click, like at the touch, like within instantaneously. To think that I had to look at a dusty old 1979 Playboy is just hilarious to me.
Like a caveman.
Yeah, now, I never found any porn that my parents had, but my dad in our garage, he used to have, with his business and stuff, he started his business in our garage, the machine shopping and stuff. So he had like this giant like Snap-on Tools poster. That was just some like naked chick with her tits hanging out in the bush and stuff. Like it's crazy to me to think that there was a time when tool companies would just have, naked chicks.
They still do.
No way.
Yeah.
Do they really?
Yeah.
I'm surprised that
We're not allowed to have them up. but
Right. I'd imagine not.
We have like different vendors come in and offer us shit. Like
with naked. That's so
both.
shocking to me
There's
still,
different versions. They sell like the hunting one, which is just like deer and eagles and shit like that.
Right.
Or the bikini one, which is chicks in bikinis, or the X-rated one.
Wow.
Yeah, so you get your pick.
That blows my mind that companies are still, I mean, with the state of everything nowadays.
Yeah, it may only last another 6 months, but they've been doing it for up until now.
Right.
Now you watch your language and listen to me. You boys are reacting to prejudice. The good Lord put us here on this earth to overcome things like hating people for something they did to us in the past. Doesn't that make sense? Don't you understand that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Well, good.
Have I gone on my rant about this before? I know I have. I feel like it wasn't on the show, though, so let me just touch upon this again. Dukes of Hazzard, right?
Yes.
Huge hit, established. The characters are like American, beloved American characters in American consciousness. Early 80s, right?
Yes.
What's the name of their father figure on that show with the white beard and the overalls?
Yes.
Uncle Jesse?
Exactly.
Uncle Jesse.
Okay. Now, fast forward about 5 years. Okay.
I know exactly where you're going. Go ahead.
And there's this fucking Hydra-headed show. If you, it was always on 2 channels at once. I would see it on a channel. I hate this fucking show, Full House. It's a piece of shit. It's like this watered down just American fluff bullshit show. It was like the opposite of Roseanne, which I prefer that to bullshit like Full House.
Oh, yeah, because Roseanne was blue
Roseanne's
collar.
fantastic.
So you'd flip the channel away from Full House, and there'd be another another Full House on another channel at the same time. It was like a Hydra or something, Hydra head. But anyway, what's the name of John Stamos' character on that show?
That would be Uncle Jesse.
Now, where the fuck It'd be like if I started a show and like said, "Hey, I'm going to name one of my characters
Boss Hog.
Yeah, just like some fucking
Archie Bunker.
Exactly. Yeah. Where do they get off naming a character Uncle Jesse on that pissant fucking bullshit show? That's my question. What the fuck? Where did they get off doing that?
I mean,
once again, I don't
not
think it
that
was a
uncommon
conscious
of a
thing,
name, right?
Yeah. And lots of people have uncles,
right?
But I love your cynicism. It's what makes this show 100%.
Like they had to know that they were. They should have called him Uncle Jay or something, like Uncle Jess, like anything but Uncle Jesse. Like that was taken. Like sorry.
So
right,
if someone's name's used, you can never use.
Yeah, but Uncle and Jesse, like putting two words together, that's deliberate. Like Jesse, if there could be 10,000 Jessies on TV, and that's fine because people are named Jesse. I get it. But Uncle Jesse putting together is the deliberate thing, and there's already an Uncle Jesse.
Do me a favor, bring up your phone.
Why?
Just bring it up.
I'd rather not.
Type in "Day of the Locust,"
as in the Bob Dylan song, or
just movie.
Okay.
Uncle Jesse.
Yeah, the locust sang.
It's funny you say this because I think my name is used in a song, probably unintentionally.
Okay, Day of the Locust here.
Okay.
Here, so
he's gonna pull something out here.
Yeah.
Do it live.
Well, fuck it. Let's do it live.
So here's a movie from 1975 called Day of the Locust.
Uh-huh.
Please go down the cast listing and their character names, please.
Donald Sutherland plays Homer Simpson. That's fantastic.
So where the fuck does the Simpsons get off?
You would have a case for that. I mean, that's
except for the fact nobody's fucking seen Day of the Locust.
Yeah, I mean, I believe it was up for Oscars and everything. I mean, it's got Donald Sutherland in it,
Karen Black,
right? I mean, it's got some people in it.
Was her name Marge?
No, but Homer Simpson does chase down a little boy and stomp him to death in the movie.
That's fantastic.
Now I want to
Which makes me wonder if that was some sort of like really subversive, in joke by naming their
reference
angry man character.
I wouldn't be surprised. Now that gets a pass because those cartoon, sarcasm, parody type genre, you expect that sort of thing.
Oh, so that gets a pass? Why? Because you like The Simpsons and don't like Full House?
Why? Because you fucking hate Bon Jovi and you love the Beatles?
It's like apples and oranges, But two primetime television shows made by, whatever TV
like
studios.
10 years apart.
Probably closer to 20.
Yeah, maybe.
What?
Yeah, because was Dukes of Hazzard actually made in the early 80s, or was I just seeing reruns when I was a kid?
Yeah, I think Dukes of Hazzard was filmed in mid to late 70s, right?
I thought it was early 80s.
Yeah, was it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
That's when I saw it, but I don't know if that's actually when it was made. Because at the same time, I was watching fucking Happy Days and the Andy Griffith Show, and it's the same kid on there, and you're a kid, you don't have any idea of time. The fact that what you're watching on TV, you don't know that it's not necessarily new.
It's funny because as a kid, I watched Full House because that was my time period. Because it came on Friday night.
So do you have warm nostalgic feelings about that show? Or
I can't fucking stand it because
part of their TGI Friday or whatever.
Because watching it now, my kids watch it occasionally because Christina, showed it to them once, and they're young enough to where it rings a bell. And as I watch it, I'm like, God, this is terrible.
Yeah,
but at the time, it was
I imagine it didn't age well. But yeah, I used to watch it. I mean, we were young.
Family Matters,
right.
Full House, Perfect Strangers.
Friday nights eating dinner with the family. You'd have TV on or whatever.
People used to tell me I look like Balky.
Balky Bartakamus.
What?
That's how he talked. His name was Balky Bartakamus.
Oh, I never knew his last name.
And he would and his cousin Larry, not Uncle Jesse.
Cousin Larry.
Okay. So Dukes of Hazzard was actually 79 to 85.
Okay.
There you go.
So
wow.
when did that other piece of shit?
The other one probably started around 85.
Started probably around
later than that.
87.
Do you remember not Saved by the Bell, but Head of the Class with Howard Hessman?
Yeah.
That was actually a good show. And
You know, the fat kid from that is Dan Schneider, who writes all of the Nickelodeon shows now.
Oh.
He does all of the iCarly and all.
Okay.
Oh, wow. So you're right. Yeah, Full House, 87 and 95.
See, that's about 5-6 years too long. Like, that didn't need to be around that long.
The funniest part is, if you ever listen to Bob Saget's stand up, it's filthy as shit.
Yeah.
It's not funny.
Oh, yeah.
It's terrible,
Yeah.
but it's filthy. And I think it's just all that pent up, like, just playing this clean model father in San Francisco for, 8 years?
Well, apparently he was dirty as shit before he got the show, and he wasn't even sure how the hell he got it. 'Cause he was a pretty blue comedian. But even like Tim Allen, before he did Home Improvement, I mean, his stuff, he was dropping F-bombs and whatnot.
Yeah. He got busted. He did like 2 years for cocaine or something.
Who?
Did he? Tim Allen?
Tim Allen.
That's funny.
Before he ever got popular.
I like it.
Damn.
Jeez.
So, yeah, nostalgic shows. So much of our lives revolve around TV.
That's true. But, it's funny because at the heart of it, what brings us to it is that we like a good story, And ever since ancient times when, oral tradition of passing stories and mythology and all that.
Oral tradition?
Stories and, Netflix. I mean, I refuse to be too cynical about it because
I call bullshit.
as long as the story and the stories are good and the writing is good, I mean, and it's compelling.
And as long as they don't have an Uncle Jesse or a Fred Bon Jovi.
and as long as they're not trying to sell me fucking stupid shit while I'm trying to watch a story.
See, they didn't start doing that till later, I think, even. Like, that brand of marketing didn't really catch on until probably more recently, than ever. Like, these big, giant shows that you can binge on.
Yeah.
With streaming and all the,
I mean, there was always product placement, like, all throughout the 80s and everything.
Yeah, I just feel like in-show product placement, like where the Coke cans are turned or they're driving that, brand new Toyota. Right. I don't know.
Do you remember a movie called Mac and Me that came out in the
vaguely
maybe late 80s? Possibly like
alien.
90. Yeah, it was totally an ET ripoff. But like instead of Reese's Pieces, didn't he like fucking
What'd you call him?
Reese's Pieces.
There it is.
See, I'm not alone.
No, dude, they're always Reese's Pieces, man.
You're on
They're always Reese's Pieces.
Just read the package.
But yeah, Mac and Me, it was like a total fucking McDonald's movie. But it was like was their total fucking ET wannabe. And like
McDonald's, what do you mean?
Like McDonald's funded. I mean, the thing's called Mac, and like everywhere there's like McDonald's product placement.
Oh my god, that's hilarious!
But like instead of I'm trying to look it up now. Instead of Reese's Pieces, like didn't he like M&Ms or something ridiculous?
Or Skittles,
right? Something.
Oh yeah, ET.
Totally retarded.
That was product placement of the finest. Yep.
Didn't he drink? He drank a Budweiser too.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, I guess you're right. They've been doing that shit forever.
It's funny, man. Like now, when you go to a movie in the theater, like you sit through like 15 minutes solid of just commercials, like 15 to 30-second commercial spots or whatever. I remember it's amazing to me. It took them that long to catch on because all through my childhood, 80s, 90s, or whatever, like you'd go in and the previews would start and there wouldn't even be commercials. There would be like that little thing where you're on the roller coaster and the popcorn and the Coke. Like that was just like an in-house thing, the Regal Cinemas or whatever.
Let's all go to the lobby. Right. Let's all go to the lobby.
It's amazing to me that it took them that long to finally get around to showing you actual commercials before the movie started. Like that's just fucking hilarious. I like going to a movie that's like been out for a couple weeks, so you don't have to worry too much about like it being overly crowded. Just show up like right at the show time, so you don't have to sit through that shit. Previews, I don't mind. I don't mind previews.
Well, now you get like 25 minutes of previews before the damn movie even starts.
That's right, man. It
like
goes on.
It's so ridiculous.
It's a long time.
Yeah, not to mention it costs like $50, so I kind of avoid it.
Well, thankfully,
you know,
I mean, that's because you got a whole mess of kids. And
I'm not real fond of the Star Wars trailer that I saw. It's just too disconnected. Like these random fucking things. There's no sense of story or anything.
Yeah, I have
it's
to
just
say,
like patronizing. Like we're going to show you this 3-second flash of something like a ship firing or a person running, and it's totally unconnected, and it's like lazy or something. Like give it some meaning.
It's because they already know they have you hooked.
Exactly.
They don't have to do shit now.
Right.
It's like, boom, laser beam.
Yeah.
Jedi, stormtrooper. There it is. Crazy angle.
And show Carrie Fisher's fucking plastic surgery
same plastic surgery.
face.
It's just CGI. They fucking faked it.
Because she died.
Oh wait, that was Rogue One. Okay, but yeah, no, she was kind of a little.
they
stretched.
just have this long shot of her contemplative old face. Like, okay, great. Like, where's the story? Like, you know what I mean? Like, give me something to fucking hang my hat on here. Like,
but I mean, that's what you got to see the movie for. I mean, honestly,
That's
is a fucking trailer going to sell you on a Star Wars movie? It doesn't even matter at this point. It's a Star Wars
correct.
movie. People are going to see it. I'm going to see it. Are you going to see it? It's fucking Star Wars.
Nope.
But you've never seen any, right?
Correct.
I can't fucking deal with that. Haven't you not seen any Raiders of the Lost Ark either? Like any
No, I've
Indiana
seen all of
Jones?
them.
Okay.
I'm a big fan of Indiana Jones.
First 3, anyway.
Well, yeah, okay. I never saw Crystal Skull, so
Yeah,
take
it's
that for what it's worth.
Garbage.
I'm not a big Shia LaBeouf fan.
No. Is anybody really?
was Harrison Ford in that one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were going to make another one called Crystal Johnson.
I didn't hear about that one.
Never mind.
I don't.
So my favorite was probably Last Crusade, honestly.
Really?
Yeah, I really liked that one.
I liked all 3, but
I did like all 3, but
I think Raiders is probably the best just to me, and then Temple of Doom, then Last Crusade. But they're all worth watching. I just prefer to pretend that Crystal Skull
doesn't exist.
Doesn't exist.
Right.
Thank you, sir. So, how's your health, man? You're
I've
the
lost a few
oldest.
pounds.
You're the oldest one here. Your health should be the
Lost
worst.
a few pounds.
And I know
How? You lose a limb?
We're like, I don't know where to begin.
The beginning.
95% of the food that's available conveniently is
Right.
fucking poison garbage. Like,
Yeah,
that's why
everybody's
it's a cycle.
everybody's so fat and fucked up.
Right, sends everybody to the doctors and pharmaceutical companies and all this shit. It's just this fucking huge hamster wheel. Oh, we eat a lot of vegetables and fruits. But then, we have our guilty pleasures as well, like fucking ice cream, like multiple times a week. Like, you know what I mean?
But I mean, you could go to like that local place right up the street.
It's still ice cream.
It's overpriced, yeah,
Right.
and it's just you're paying more for the same shit.
I mean, anything you like is going to kill you. Essentially, is what it comes down to.
But I'm a firm believer in fucking vegetables and spinach in particular.
Right. And mushrooms.
Can be, with a little seasoning, which I realize is basically salt a lot of the time, sodium and shit like that.
Yeah.
So you're always
you
finding
can
ways
use
to
spices.
cheat. You're
Not
finding
that-
ways to cheat.
It doesn't have to be salt. You can use. There's all kinds of spices. Some of them have sodium, or I'm sure, but not as high as salt itself.
And
right?
the hardest thing is to fucking kick. It's like any addiction. It fucking breaks my heart, man. Babies, like, just picture like a fucking 2-month-old or year-old, whatever, sitting at his first birthday party, like,
Do I have to?
just fucking like eyeballs, just
Things I don't want to picture.
yeah, just like these
Been there, done that.
not knowing anything about the world, and then like, here, eat this fucking stacked fucking
Here's a giant piece of cake.
concoction of fucking chemical poison. Let's get you addicted to fucking processed sugar before you have any choice in the matter. Like, this is something that's like really fucking hitting me, and I'm 44 fucking years old, and
Not only that,
Why is it
it's the first birthday. It's tradition for a kid to dig into a cake.
Right.
And
Exactly.
It's
Instilling eating frenzies
from the very
Right.
get-go
Right.
as a ritual, not only
Exactly.
but then that ritual becomes addictive from the actual chemical response itself.
And I think part of why it became a tradition, that's the next question. How did it become such a fucking ingrained tradition? Like, obviously there's that quick payoff of sugar. It's similar, it activates similar centers of the brain as heroin, whatever. Yeah, that whole bit.
Serotonin.
It's true. Yeah.
Dopamine.
Okay, so that is an instant appeal. It brings a smile to people's faces. You want to see your child happy. You want to see something, whatever. But I think too, there's a socioeconomic aspect too, because weren't cakes and sugary things something that only well-to-do people could have, right?
Back in the day.
Yeah, back in the day.
Yes.
Yeah.
not in our lifetime.
No.
Right.
You're talking.
I'm talking like centuries ago and shit like that. Yeah,
right.
Marco Polo and
Right.
shit like that.
And they-
Right?
That's because they discovered sugar. It wasn't it was harder to get.
Yeah.
So the well-to-do could afford
Yeah.
to send somebody to the fucking, Costa Rica for sugar cane
Right.
to sail it back to Britain.
It became this glorified thing we gotta have. It's all these mantle of it means more than just the thing in itself. And the thing in itself, chemically, addictively, it's got all these properties and it's got the payoff. But even metaphorically, back in that time, it meant something. It had even greater value imposed upon it on that socioeconomic level as well. And we haven't shaken that.
Right, and now we put it in everything, like you're saying, addicted from birth. I mean, it's,
Yeah.
you hear stories about other people that come to our country and they taste things like as simple as fucking bread and milk are just
100%,
full of sugar. And they
Right.
they taste it like, why is this so sweet? This isn't how it's supposed to be.
Right.
And
Why? Why do we do it? Why do we addict it?
So
Big
It's easy to make.
because
It's cheap and easy, and it's on every street corner.
and it's addictive. You get
Yeah.
people to keep buying your shit.
Right.
Like you crave it. So I mean, it's all you would be astonished at the amount of money that they put in to looking into how to
Right.
make people addicted to certain products.
Well, and
it's
now-
$1 billion industry.
Right, and now
Right.
it's like everything is so like none of it's natural anymore. It's all so processed and put together that we don't even know what the ramifications of all this shit is because they've only been doing it this way for the last 50 years or
50
whatever.
years, right.
That they've been manufacturing all this shit. So that, I mean, they say it's safe, but I mean, we can obviously.
No, they don't
see-
say it's safe at all.
Well, but I mean, the companies pushing it say it's safe.
Yeah.
It's approved by the FDA, but you look at
the numbers.
right. I was going to say
simply bought the
right.
FDA.
You look at just the physique of humankind, or Americans in
right.
general, in that time period, or the health issues in that time period. Everything directly correlates.
Oh yeah, the obesity rates go up as sugar intake goes up, like over the years. And it was, I think we've talked about this before, but either way, like there's proof that scientists were paid off by the sugar industry to put all the blame on saturated fats.
Right.
Like apparently,
Yes.
Did Eisenhower have a heart attack or something while in office? Somebody a president in the 50s had a heart attack, and that's where
you can bluff it. I'm not going to know.
Yeah, I want to say it was Eisenhower. It was definitely in the 50s. It's when the food pyramid came about. That's why the
Right.
president had a fucking heart attack. They're like, oh, now we got to fix this shit.
Right.
So, and they came up with the food pyramid, and they paid off these scientists saying, hey, it's fats that are bad and cause heart attacks and cause artery clogging shit and all this stuff.
And it was an easy sell because the name fat conveniently is synonymous with
Exactly.
you're
Right.
fat.
Right.
Right.
God, I can't get over that. Like,
So basically, when you look at the food pyramid, it's bullshit. Because it says, like, the original one.
it was stacked with wheat heavy so
Yeah.
they could sell more wheat, is essentially.
100%.
Yeah.
And they can add sugar to the fucking bread that you're eating.
Right.
It's a big mind fuck when you look at how a few people influenced an entire society's eating habits.
Right.
Think about it too. As visualize the pyramid in your mind. You're supposed to eat that which is on the bottom level
The most.
the most. But it's just that's an inverted logic because you're placing it low on the totem visually.
It's
and
the-
at
well-
the top, at the peak, which is like the apex or the summit, you've got the sugar and the bullshit. Like that's
Right.
just a weird.
Well, and it's
Well,
inverted.
I guess the
mindfuck.
theory was that's the you need the foundation
Yeah.
The bulk of your shit is supposed to be 8 to 11 servings of,
which is insane.
Breads and yeah, it's ridiculous. It's almost completely backwards, minus the sugar and shit at the very top. They don't even use it anymore.
Well, and it's so hard to,
now, like
unless you're
thing.
buying local stuff that you know is organic,
right?
It's so hard to even try to eat healthy, because even if you think you're eating healthy, like let's say you're fucking going to town on tons of fruits and vegetables and things along those lines, how much of that shit's been genetically modified to grow faster or grow bigger, you know?
Yeah,
it's like
it's hard to don't know what the fuck you're eating unless you grow it yourself.
And I mean,
or trust the person growing it and know them firsthand, or
and that's why you have people maturing quicker, people having all sorts of behavioral issues that never used to be a problem or diagnosed. It's like how many
that's why people are growing to be like twice the size as they used to be,
living
years
a
ago.
ton longer, or getting huge tits when they're 12 years old. Ain't that right?
Weird.
Girls too.
Yeah, even this produce stand I go to, there's so much stuff there that like they didn't grow there, like bananas and shit, like all kinds of shit.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there was growing
a pineapple tree in the back.
Hartford County, Maryland.
But I mean, how do you fuck up a banana? Really? How do you fuck up a banana?
Oh, I've seen some videos.
Because like it's like encased in this like fucking nature's like armor, like the fucking actual edible part is safely ensconced inside this fucking like. That's some protection, man. That is like some of the greatest earth.
Talk to a coconut, motherfucker.
Well, there we go.
It's Mother Nature's prophylactic.
There we go.
Coconut would shit on that banana.
Well,
like,
okay.
Fuck your armor.
Anywho,
I get what you're saying. It's yeah.
But I guess like organic bananas versus regular bananas. Like, what are you really getting when you're getting organic? Like, you're gonna say spray with chemicals and shit like that.
Correct.
Right. What else? Like the way it's grown, or like how? Like, I need to educate myself.
I don't eat bananas, dude. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Yeah, I couldn't name one Merle Haggard song.
But yeah, I'm not a geneticist. I don't know how exactly they how they've screwed with the banana
You are
gene.
not a communist, but you are a Marxist-Leninist. What is the difference? Sorry.
I did see something, coincidentally speaking about bananas, where
Yes, we have no bananas.
no, the amount wasted.
I'm glad that went over like that. I didn't expect that. You're going to say food in general wasted?
No,
or
but specifically bananas, because of they only ship the most appealing to the eye aesthetically. They don't ship, like, they're perfectly good to eat, and there's nothing wrong with them, but if they're too short, or if they have too fat, or they're just unappealing to the eye.
Okay.
Like 40% of all bananas that are harvested are thrown away due to aesthetics that come to the U.S.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, and I saw these videos
Somebody's
of them
gotta
just
eat-
throwing these fucking bananas away. They're just rotting. They just because
Couldn't they
it's
feed them to
nothingness to them.
animals, or
Yeah, okay.
make
yeah.
banana nut bread or something?
Yeah, you would think you would ship it to Ethiopia or
Yeah, that's
something.
another thing about sugar. Like every fucking thing on the planet that's edible, sugar weasels its way into it. Like any fucking thing you can name, any fruit.
I mean, there's natural sugars as compared to processed sugars.
Well, no, that's true. Like fruit gives you sugars, and you need sugars to survive. Like, all that, but like, yeah, it's just the power of that added sugar, man. You could add it to any fucking thing. But anyway,
And they do.
the bananas. You got potassium. Well, what is that? How many people? And I'm one of these people. How many people really know what the fuck potassium even does, or what is potassium? Like, what does it do for us? Like,
I mean, I'm pretty sure it does. I mean, you need it. It's a vitamin. If you don't have enough of it, you're going to get sick and possibly die.
okay.
You know,
So if I go
like if you don't have enough vitamin C, that's scurvy.
If I go 10 years without eating a single banana, I'm getting it from other sources, right?
Correct.
Somehow.
You're getting potassium from something else.
Okay.
Like It doesn't have to be. Just bananas have a high amount. So
benefits of potassium include healthy skin, reduced cellulite, strong bones, and this one's
reduced cellulite.
Right. This one's actually really good for you. The alleviation of menstrual cramps.
Hey, thanks.
You're welcome.
Damn, really? Now is that like old wives' tale shit, or is that like actual science?
No, it's from a doctor's website. Unfortunately, he's named Dr. Axe. So
AXE or AX?
AXE. Top 10 potassium-rich foods would include, if my phone was any quicker, because we're in the fucking basement. Whatever. It also helps your nerves to function and muscles to contract. Helps move nutrients in the cells and waste products out of cells. A diet rich in potassium helps to offset some of the sodium's harmful effects on blood pressure. So apparently I need to eat more bananas, and it all comes full circle.
Eat a banana, dude. You're set.
I try to eat a banana every morning with breakfast because I can't do it all mornings because apparently they fucking suck there and don't understand that if you're selling out of bananas every fucking day, maybe you should buy more goddamn bananas.
Because the banana trees are definitely over. Like eat all you want, they'll ship more.
We established there's more than enough bananas.
If I show up and there's 3 goddamn large bowls, one's full of fucking apples, one's full of oranges, and one's full of bananas. If every day the banana one's almost fucking empty or empty, and the oranges and apples are sky fucking high,
it just means banana's a popular fruit.
So potassium-rich foods include the avocado.
Love them.
I'm not big.
Love
it's a texture thing for me.
It's like that weird squishy. Like even like if I'm getting it on a sandwich or something. I was gonna say like
guac, if I'm getting, I can do. I like.
If I'm
guac.
getting guac on a sandwich, it has to be like a really thin layer to accent. It can't be like a glop.
Right.
Acorn squash. Fucking hate squash.
Love squash.
I can do squash.
Hate squash. Hate.
See, all of these things you can add sugar to, but go ahead.
You put sugar on your squash?
No. People can, like it's been done. Like,
I'm sure it's been done. I mean, that's not a question. I guarantee you, everything. People,
dude,
everything
like sweet potatoes.
Oh, I'm getting there, motherfucker.
Dump fucking shit, all kinds of shit on sweet potatoes, man. That shit's bland as fuck. It's like eating dirt.
Number 3, spinach.
You crazy.
4, sweet potato.
Wait. What's this list again? Potassium-rich foods.
Right.
Bananas 1. Start again. Just fly through them.
Bananas not 1. Pay attention, goddammit. Just fucking making shit up. Avocado.
That's at the top of the list?
Number 1.
Why isn't banana number 1?
One whole avocado has 1,067 milligrams, which is 30% of your daily amount.
That's all? 30%? So I got to eat 3 fucking avocados, and I'm still only at 90.
Right.
Bananas, how much does it fucking banana? I'm sorry.
Acorn squash, 26%. That's number 2. Spinach, number 3, 24%. Sweet potato, 24%.
Now, what's the is this like based on serving sizes, or where are they?
One large sweet potato. Yes, it gives you a serving size.
Okay,
so
all right.
And it's probably based on a 2,000 calorie daily.
Okay,
whatever.
Okay, go ahead. Continue.
What?
Sorry.
Number 5, wild caught salmon.
Ooh,
which I would eat.
Damn. Out of everything, the only thing you said so far is the meat.
I like sweet potatoes.
Now we know why you have fucking high blood pressure.
With a thin layer of marshmallow and cinnamon and whatever the fuck else they
fuck
put on
avocados. Fuck squash.
Wild caught salmon, dried apricots, which I like. Do you say apricots or apricots?
Either one.
Fucking savage.
What put the ape in apricot? What do they got that I haven't got? Courage.
7, pomegranate. 8, coconut water.
Pomegranate, you say?
Yes.
Those are good. I buy those and it's like a process to like cut them and peel, get out all the shit.
Seeds.
9,
balls.
It's good on cereal, but cereal's another conversation.
White beans.
Really?
Number 10, banana. So it says bananas are well known for being a potassium source, and they're a good one, but they're also relatively high in sugar and carbs. That's why I recommend bananas as a quick source of energy before a workout or post-workout. Nutrient-rich recovery food to help repair muscle and balance water retention.
But it's the sugar in banana is not. It's like got to be a healthy kind of sugar that your body needs.
There's no such thing as a healthy sugar. But if
your body needs sugar
your
to
body,
function.
yes, your body needs sugar. But
So-
if you're eating, just because it's a fruit doesn't mean you can just have at it all the time. You're
Okay.
You can still eat too much sugar by just eating fruit. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
And I gave that tree a good whack. And Walter cried out, but I kept on. I mean, you've never heard screams like the one coming from Walter as I chopped at that tree. He pissed his pants, and it came raining down on the ground. About I didn't pay it no mind. I just kept whacking away.
And you said the state of things today.
I think that's where we're going, apparently.
Kevin Spacey, is that... This is the example.
I mean,
of
was
the sort of
anybody
thing.
really surprised by this?
I mean, I'd heard he was kind of a dick or whatever, but
you didn't know he kind of liked dick?
Yeah, I just like how how we were talking about this before. He buried the lead. You know, he was like, "Yeah, I don't really remember molesting a 14-year-old boy. I might have done it; it's a possibility. But hey, guys,
everyone."
I'm gay."
Yeah.
You definitely buried the lead on that one, Kevin. Everyone knew you were fucking gay.
Right.
Nobody knew you were fucking kids.
And and to me, I mean, it's almost kind of insulting to come out like that was somehow the excuse of it. Right. It's like
cool,
one
guys.
does not correlate to the other. Like just because you're gay doesn't mean
Doesn't
you're
make it
diddling
okay.
kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe he was thinking like two negatives cancel out and make a positive, you know?
Well,
What's this about Louis C.K.? What's he supposed to have done?
he asked chicks if he could jack off in front of them, and then jacked off in front of them.
Did they say yes
15
first?
years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of
Which
the way
is-
I was taking the stories. I mean, some of them, thought he was just joking, and then turned out to not be.
And they were all comedians that were like either opening for him or on the road with him. So
And kind of felt like intimidated.
he was
that
almost
he
like a
could-
boss, but not really.
But yeah, they just felt.
But what do you expect? The guy jokes about jerking off
Right.
in every aspect of his comedy. No one's surprised that he wants to jerk off in front of chicks.
Right.
He admitted to it. I don't see the harm necessarily. It was probably not a good idea.
Right.
But the guy I don't think his career should be ruined.
I mean, and
you
he
can't
was
hold him in the same
right.
regards as Kevin Spacey and Harvey Weinstein.
Right. You're right. I'm with you there. And I mean, he definitely. He wasn't threatening to harm anyone's career. He wasn't, promising anything. He wasn't,
Right.
He was just kind of said, hey, this is kind of
Hey,
my
this
thing.
is my thing, yeah.
But granted, I can see how they, some people might have felt intimidated that, if they didn't go along with it, how it could harm them, even though he didn't say. So, I mean, it's still kind of a shitty situation, but I don't really have, like you're saying.
I'm not going to
I
not
don't
watch his shit.
Right. I
anymore.
don't equate it to the other people. And yeah, he has some issues. He probably needs to work on those a bit, but I don't,
But it's not not
I-
a surprise to me.
Right. Yeah.
Just like Kevin Spacey.
Right.
But the difference being I won't watch House of Cards again.
I didn't watch it in the first place.
Mainly because they're not going to finish it, but what's the point of going
So
on?
are they going to just cut it off halfway through a season and end it? Or
That's what they did. That's what they were 4 episodes in filming the final season, and they just stopped production completely.
wow, which sucks for all the people that are. I mean, they're obviously they'll land on their feet, I'm sure, but
They lost jobs. A lot of it was filmed around here,
Yeah.
Hartford County.
I'm sure they'll figure out something else. Too much of
Hartford
a cash cow. That
I would
they'll
hope.
like kill his character off or do something, or
Have him get raped in jail or something.
they should have that barbecue guy come
By
back and
kids.
kill him.
And serve him up.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't watch
He's
House of
never
Cards.
watched it. Yeah.
Well, at this point, I mean, it's interesting and that's a shame. I always really liked American Beauty, man.
And
That was one of
Seven,
my favorite movies.
Usual Suspects. He's been in a lot of good shit.
I'm not so much into that morbid fucking like.
Did you ever see Usual Suspects?
I've seen Usual Suspects, and I remember when that came out, everyone was like, "Oh, what is your surprise ending?" And like, it wasn't that big a surprise. I mean, this dude was just like this degenerate. Like,
Guinea
it could have
Jack.
been him as much as anybody else in that movie. I see that look of judgment.
Guinea John over here.
I'm just letting it
Let
go,
me have it.
man.
Let me
I'm
have
just
it.
letting it go.
Let me guess. You figured out Sixth Sense too. before it was over.
No, I did not. That I felt like an idiot. I remember that.
Hey, did you see Unbreakable?
I did see Unbreakable.
Yeah, so apparently they're filming the sequel to that up in Philly right now, or it might not be Philly.
Wow.
But they're filming it somewhere.
Was Samuel L. in it too?
Yeah, he's back as Mr. Glass. And then, I guess it's like sort of that movie Split that the director did last year was apparently sort of a tie-in to Unbreakable, and then they're both going to be in this sequel.
Interesting.
I wish
Not familiar with Split.
Yeah, Split actually went that bad either. It's James McAvoy's like kidnapping young girls, and keeping them locked in this room. But he has like multiple personalities. It's a lot better than I expected it to be, actually.
I started watching Turner and Hooch earlier today. I've never seen that before. I know that's not a big surprise.
Is that James Belushi?
No.
Who's the
Tom
guy?
Hanks.
Tom Hanks. Okay,
Yeah.
right.
Tom Hanks. No, but James Belushi had this another basically the same fucking movie afterwards.
Canine? Is that what the
That's
Belushi
Schwarzenegger,
one
isn't
was?
it?
No, it was James Belushi. It was we'll have to
I
look
feel
it
like
up.
there was like a John Ritter one somewhere too.
It was the year of the dog. Christina and I watched. She had never seen it. Field of Dreams for the first time.
I need to see that too.
You've never
Yeah,
seen
what?
Field of Dreams? You son of a bitch!
How have you never seen
And The
Field of
Natural,
Dreams?
I've never seen.
Oh, as much as you love baseball,
I know.
You ever seen 8 Men Out?
I feel like I did see that,
That's a
but
good one.
years ago.
There's a lot of good baseball movies.
John
That's my
Cusack's in
thing.
that.
It's Canine. You got it.
Is
That's
that
it.
James Belushi? Yeah.
Yeah.
K9.
It's Turner and
Okay.
Hooch for like C-class celebrities.
Meet the two toughest cops in town. One's just a little smarter than the other.
It's funny.
James Belushi, Canine, introducing Jerry Lee as himself. I'm assuming Jerry Lee's the dog.
I just thought I meant Jerry Lee Lewis.
He's the last one alive, man. Pretty much
He's still
all the
alive?
other guys are dead. Yeah, Jerry Lee's
Holy
still
shit.
alive.
Is he still banging his cousin?
No, I think he stopped doing that once it became public.
Fats Domino. I thought he was long dead. I didn't know he was still alive.
Having fun with that spinner, man?
Yeah. Quit spinning the fidget spinner.
Are you
Picking
6?
up in the mics.
Simple fucking thing, man. Fucking
Making millions.
Made him $1 million.
Yeah. Doesn't take much. Somebody invented the pet rock at one point, and that dude's a millionaire.
Yeah.
Because people are fucking stupid.
What they did with the pet rock? It's a jump to conclusions mat. You see, it would be this mat with different conclusions on it that you could jump to.
I'm trying to find the movie with John Ritter and a dog, and I don't know if that's actually that might just
I don't
be
know if that's a thing.
that might just be something I made up.
It's funny you mentioned John Ritter because when we were talking earlier about Salt and Pepper, the first thing that came to my mind was that movie Remote Control because they're in a scene. Are you familiar with that movie?
Remote Control.
I think it was Remote Control. Maybe it's called something different.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
With
That's
John Ritter, right? And they're like changing the channels, but
involved
they're
in
in
Remote
the
Control,
right?
right.
They're in the TV show or whatever. Yeah, 'cause there is one called
wow.
Remote Control, but it's a different movie.
I remember that was sad, man, because he was out of the spotlight for a while, and he came back and started doing that sitcom 8 Simple Rules.
And he was in Bad Santa as well. He was in a couple.
Oh
movies
yeah, he
around
was in
the-
Bad Santa.
Sling
yeah.
Blade.
Oh, was he in that? You know, I've never seen Sling Blade.
Oh,
shockingly.
Oh, there's
Look
one.
at this. Shoes
There it
on the
is.
other foot.
Hey, apparently, Guinea John has definitely seen Sling Blade.
I saw it. I probably need to see it again. Like, I don't know that I understood it all.
One movie that he's seen have
French fries.
I mean, I
Taters.
understood it, but some movies, what was I supposed to get from that is sort of like what I think what I walked away from that with. Like,
Billy Bob Thornton can play a mean retard. That's what
mean
you
as
said.
in like
as in impressive,
very skilled, impressive.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
okay,
like
got it,
like
yeah.
DiCaprio eating Gilbert Grape.
Now that to me was his finest role. Yeah. No, truly, I'm not even saying that jokingly.
Oh my God. What skill does it take to really portray that? Like, I'm pretty sure anyone could do that. I wouldn't give so much clout.
I know you could.
100%. It's not. It's like, come on, man.
So apparently the John Ritter thing was a TV series called Hooperman in the late 80s. Do you remember this?
No, that looks terrible though.
Oh my God.
Yeah, from 87
Poor John
to
Ritter.
89.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, you say that, but he had a hit show.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
maybe
God.
not hit, but
Three's Company was everything when I was a kid. Like
Yeah, that
between
was
that and the Dukes of Hazzard and the Fall Guy taught me everything I ever needed to know about being a man.
Oh my God. You're like, how old are you?
40.
Okay, so you're in the same wheelhouse as me. Those shows you said, me too, 100%. Fall Guy, that theme song. I never spent much time in school, but I taught ladies plenty. I love that line.
I've only heard you sing that before. That's the only way I've known that song.
Man. Yeah, the Fall Guy was like Lee Majors. He was like a stunt man.
Yeah, I
and
know
like
that.
Heather, was it Heather Locklear or Heather Thomas?
Thomas was in that. Heather Hochler was in T.J. Hooker.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was
Another good one, too.
Right?
Yeah.
And Adrian Zmed, who was also in Bachelor Party.
Who's also in Grease too.
Oh, yeah, Fall Guy and Dukes, man. Those were
Yeah,
big.
those were favorites.
Remember Matt Houston?
I didn't watch that.
Yeah. And I know, oh my God, there's so many weird shows back then.
So many good shows. Now it's
V, we talked about
yeah,
V before.
V was fantastic as well. Fucking lizard people.
I took you for more of a Chips guy.
Chips I
was
used to
big.
watch a lot too, yeah. And actually I thought the new Chips movie was actually pretty funny, shockingly.
I did not see that one.
I was kind of
I haven't
surprised.
seen it either.
The new Dukes of Hazzard was awful.
I kind of liked it.
It's got spit all over it. Now I know what it feels like to have dinner with Martin Landau.
What people forget about Polanski is Polanski wasn't a perfectionist. And pedophile or not, he was a perfectly professional person and punctual.
Yeah, maybe we could talk about something else.
I got to tell you guys this fucked up thing that happened a couple nights ago. 3 nights ago, I think. Okay, so I've got this like booklet of old DVDs, you know, just from through the years, you know, the kind that you unzip, you know, it's like this rectangular black soft padded like those CD holders.
We get it. We're familiar.
I'm going through, we're looking for something to watch. I pull out Crimes and Misdemeanors.
Just to stop you for a second, you're not going to spoil anything in the movie, are you?
No.
Okay, because I have that at home waiting to be watched and have not watched it. I've never seen it.
Holy crap. Holy crap. You should watch it this week and
Okay.
you'll know why in a minute. So
weird.
So we're watching Crimes. We put it in. Crimes, great movie. You know, we're watching. We're like halfway through, probably 45 minutes in or so, and we're admiring the actors. This is Jerry Orbach. Oh yeah, there's Angelica Houston. You know, Woody Allen, Mia Farrow, of course. Oh, there's Alan Alda. This fucking guy, Martin Landau, is so good in this. Martin fucking Landau. So hey, I feel like he's still alive. Bruce mentioned him a couple weeks ago. He's coming to some fucking, nostalgia thing with Cindy Williams or something. Remember?
Yeah.
He mentioned his name. Okay, so
not no more.
I pick up my phone. Let me see how old is he now, man? Fucking Martin Landau. I fucking shit you not. This fucking happened to me. Like, Google Martin Landau. Okay?
He's typing on his phone.
He's method.
A method man, motherfucker. That's okay. First hit. Actor Martin Landau dead at 89 - 4 minutes ago. Just place yourself in that. Like,
so basically, you're saying you killed Martin Landau,
right? Your brain is so fucking powerful.
Yeah.
I was. If we would have checked his name 10 minutes prior,
he would have been
it
alive.
would have just been a regular entry,
right?
And I would have X'd out of it. That would have been that.
Mm-hmm. Maybe
the fact that,
or he would have died 10 minutes.
Put
sooner.
that movie in and spoke of that man and Googled his fucking name at the precise moment that story went live.
Never Google me.
That's a great fucking phrase. We got to make that into a song. Never Google me. Never Google me.
I don't know. Sometimes you want to be Googled. Just not with apparently the death ray you have in your brain.
Right.
If Google in some other
Grim
universe
Reaper.
means like getting like tongue massaged, like getting your balls tongue massaged,
I doubt
then I
it
would
does.
say Google me.
But what if it means, you know, jam a pool cue up my butt and you just mistranslated?
Yeah, what if Google means something totally different in Thai? You're gonna have a lady boy somewhere going and
Google.
Google me harder.
You like my Google?
Guinea John killed Martin Landau. All right.
What else happened this week?
R.I.P.
Yeah, not the first time a guinea's whacked an actor.
That's not the first time a guinea's whacked an actor.
Probably not even the
I like
first
those
time in a
syllables.
Martin Landau film.
There you go.
He knew that if the gooks ever saw the watch, it'd be confiscated, taken away. The way your dad looked at it, this watch was your birthright. You'd be damned if any slope's gonna put the greasy yellow hands on his boy's birthright, so he hid it. In one place he knew he could hide something, his ass.
So apparently, here's another movie I've never seen that you're going to be like, I can't believe you've never seen that. Ed Wood.
It's so good.
Like, I've never seen Ed Wood, and people are just telling me Martin Landau's amazing in it.
When I was in high school, I used to pretend that I worked for the school newspaper doing movie reviews. So I would get free press screening passes from like, and
Who did
I'd
you
have
pretend
to,
that
I'd have to
to?
go to Towson and stuff.
To the people at the box office?
No, to the companies, and they would send you like advanced, like you get on like this critics list, like a reviewers list, and they just would fucking send you free tickets.
And you told me you were on, what, your high school newspaper?
Yeah.
And they accepted that.
So I actually got to see a press screening of Ed Wood like a few weeks before it actually came out, and drove up there at Towson Commons when there was movie theaters there.
Shit.
That was my senior year of high school. And I remember when we watched Ed Wood, at the beginning they had a trailer for Pulp Fiction. And it was before anybody had seen the Pulp Fiction trailer, because it wasn't coming out until that movie, which didn't come out for a few more weeks.
95?
Mm-hmm. Or actually it was 94, fall of 94.
Okay.
And it is, pre-YouTube or anything, so you couldn't just go online to watch this trailer. So everybody was so pumped about Pulp Fiction, like knowing that it just won the Cannes Film Festival, and Quentin Tarantino was just rising. Like the only thing he had really done before was Reservoir Dogs, which is still like an underground cult movie. So I can remember when the trailer for Pulp Fiction came up. I mean, it was just, you could hardly contain the excitement in the room because there was a bunch of nerdy film critics for like, all the Baltimore newspapers and everything.
Right.
And at the end of the trailer, like the theater actually applauded at the end of the preview because everybody was so stoked about Pulp Fiction coming out.
I don't know. Well, let's have this brief little convo here.
But anyway, so Ed Wood's phenomenal, and you should definitely see it. Although it probably won't be as interesting if you're not as familiar with Ed Wood's movies. I mean, you'll still get it, but to me, it was different because I had actually seen Ed Wood's movies and knew who Ed Wood was before the movie came out. But it is excellent. It's definitely worth seeing.
Check it out.
For a lovable group of
Can I guess your
filmmakers
question?
with zero talent. But okay, go.
Can I
Go
guess?
ahead.
Can I guess what
We've
they're
probably
gonna
talked
say?
about this
Yes.
before.
Pulp Fiction versus Reservoir Dogs? Is that what you're gonna say?
Essentially, yes. My point being that Reservoir Dogs was like iron wrought Shakespearean fucking storytelling. Like it was like a virtuosity of storytelling and character development. Like fucking perfectly done. Like, and then Pulp Fiction is
Not to mention the
flashy. Like what you said you hated about Punk upstairs earlier tonight.
Yeah.
How it has no aesthetic and no nuance, nothing. It's just
Right.
like that. Pulp Fiction to me is the film equivalent. Like it wasn't like what was I supposed to take away from flashy after on the heels of Reservoir Dogs? Like it just fell flat. Like it was just like
So you didn't
completely
even-
one dimensional.
So you didn't even like the characters in it? Because that's kind of what it does. It takes these cliche situations and characters and kind of turns it all on its ear. And it spends time with the characters that in these movies, these pulp movies and novels, you wouldn't usually spend time with. So it kind of lets you into their world on the periphery of what a normal movie would be, based on the pulp history.
I will say I appreciated the scene where just in the ritualistic act of taking a shit, he doesn't even think about where he's putting down his gun. That scene spoke to me.
See, I'm of the opposite opinion. I enjoyed Pulp Fiction more than Reservoir Dogs.
Yeah, me too. And I mean, Reservoir Dogs was a real breath of fresh air when it came out. I thought it was really, really wild. Just its fractured time structure and
maybe
the characterization and stuff. Well, the thing is, it's been so ripped off and so imitated, and just human dialogue has changed so much since that movie came out. It does not play nearly as well today. It doesn't really hold up as much. It just feels a lot more dated than something like Pulp Fiction does, which is already kind of set in this artificial world, so it doesn't have to necessarily feel of this time because it doesn't feel of any time. Whereas Reservoir Dogs is a very 90s sort of movie.
So tell me what's so good about Pulp Fiction? Like argue your side of. I'm saying it's lacking in substance and it's one dimensional. Like, what is it?
I mean, I thought it had great characters, great dialogue, surprising situations. I thought it was hilarious. I love the score, love the cinematography. The fuck else do you want?
It's weird because I would literally give your description of Pulp Fiction. Like, I would switch the descriptions themselves.
Wow.
Like, Reservoir Dogs to me was kind of boring and just didn't seem that well thought out.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
I mean, essentially, they're like kind of cliche characters in themselves.
Okay.
Yeah,
I would agree with that.
It's just like, what is that, dichotomy? Is that the word I'm looking for? Like, I've seen that before in other movies. Pulp Fiction seemed very original to me in the aspect of even storyline. I mean,
and the other thing that with me being a bit more of a film nerd, a lot of Quentin's stuff takes inspiration from other movies.
Right.
So if you're looking back on some of them now, you can see a lot of the elements that you thought were so fresh and original the first time around you saw it, you realize that stuff was actually just lifted from other movies. Like the stuff in Reservoir Dogs with them each going by a named color so they don't know each other. That's taken from the original Taking a Pelham 1, 2, 3. The story, the story of the
shit. I never even realized that.
The story of the undercover cop infiltrating the gang and trying to get into stuff, and certain other shots were taken from this Hong Kong crime movie, Bring Her Lamb City on Fire. So a lot of the structure and things.
Didn't catch that one. Didn't catch that one.
It's really, really fucking good.
Another thing I loved Reservoir Dogs is the way it was cut, in terms of time sequence. The way they would give you other films like Memento and other films that purposefully play with that just to do it.
Right.
But this movie, Reservoir Dogs, did that in a way that made sense to me. The shit was revealed at certain times,
layered,
segued, and
it's kind of like peeling an onion.
Right.
Kind of like Pulp Fiction.
Right.
I mean,
yeah, but when it culminates and a guy had to watch up his ass, and that's just for the gag. Wasn't that funny? It's there's something cheap about that. It's not resonating.
No, I think that shows how important that fucking watch was to him.
Right.
If you imagined your own father,
which is the reason why him on the run would go back to this place knowing that people are looking for him, and that'd be the first place they fucking look.
Right.
But that watch means so much to him because his dad
held it up
sit there for 3 years up his ass.
I got to see that again.
Korean POW war camp.
Say Key and Peele.
This is your birthright. And I'll be damned if I let some greasy slope take it. Movie's so good. I actually saw Pulp Fiction 7 times in movie theaters because it really had legs. It didn't, it's not like movies now where they're in theaters, 2-3 weeks. Pulp Fiction was in theaters for pretty much most of my senior year. So there'd be other people. Like I went and saw it opening night, then I went and saw it the next night because I loved it so much, and some other friends, I was telling them about it all day long. They're like, well, let's go fucking see it. And then the following weekend, I told them, told some other friends about it, and word just started spreading, throughout school and stuff. So, we'd go with another group of friends, and a month later, it'd still be playing. Some other people would be like, oh, let's go see that. Or
that's something that kids today will never, ever experience,
right.
Sadly to say.
Mm-hmm.
But either way, I was 11 when Pulp Fiction came out. So. Yeah, didn't catch that one in theaters.
Right. 7 times. I think it's easy. Well, definitely, it's the most I've ever seen any movie in theaters ever. I mean, because, usually now you're lucky to see it once before, something disappears.
If I'm really into something, 3 is usually my ceiling. I did a 3 for Across the Universe. I think that was 2007.
It's been on demand lately. I've been having that on in the background and stuff. Although, I wish they'd put Sgt. Pepper's back on demand because I would have that playing in the background all the time too.
Your story about Pulp Fiction being in theaters for 7 months or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Did I get that right?
Whatever, close enough.
Yeah. It reminds me of Sgt. Pepper's because that and like Dark Side of the Moon stayed in like the Billboard Top 100 for like 10 years or something, or 20 years or something like that, because it was just that. Is that, legs, as you say.
Yeah, well, so is The Killer's Mr. Brightside. So I don't know how much clout that really has anymore.
That's funny.
So now, do Beatles fans generally just despise the Sgt. Pepper's movie?
It was just one of those attempts to market. That's what I see it as. I refuse to get too passionate or emotional about something that's that flimsy, plastic, and unimportant in the grand scheme.
I don't mind the Bee Gees. Whatever. Yeah. I think it's a fun movie. I enjoy the songs. That's all that really matters.
I actually enjoy it more than Across the Universe.
And it was a labor of love. What I enjoy the most is have you seen the Ruddles? All You Need Is Cash.
Yes.
Now that is a work of fucking pure genius.
Yeah,
that's the greatest Beatles film of them all. Yeah.
Across the Universe, it's I'll put it on because I like the music and everything, but it just to me comes across like it thinks that it's just so fucking important. You know what I mean? It just,
I think a lot of things from that era, or that try to portray that era, whether it be in movies or TV or whatever, kind of does that.
Right. It's all just so exaggerated.
It might even not even be on purpose, but it's like you have to cram so much shit. Everything's got to be fucking Forrest Gump.
Right.
You got to give everyone their history lesson on so much happened in that 10 or 15 year span.
Yeah.
And it's all so cool and so intriguing and so important and changing. And
Instead, maybe they should just focus on a snapshot instead of trying to,
Across the Universe, Beatles music, you kind of got to, there's so many different aspects and good pieces you don't want to miss out. I enjoyed it. It's one of my
it wasn't terrible.
It's probably my favorite musical. I'll say that. Like Grease can go fuck itself.
I like Grease, man.
Yeah, I mean,
my mom used to love the movie Grease and Popeye. So me and my sister probably saw those 2 fucking movies like 100 times each.
See, I saw Grease 2 a lot because we had it on VHS. And
Adrian's Med wasn't Adrian's Med in that?
Maybe
he was.
Michelle Pfeiffer was the girl.
Michelle Pfeiffer, Adrian Zemed. Shooter McGavin was the Kaniki, if you will. I forget what's that actor's real name.
I don't know.
I forget.
Oh shit!
I know who you're talking about. Though.
Yeah, that's a good one.
He was on Taxi as well, right?
No, that's Kaniki
I know
from
who
the
you're
original
talking
Grease.
About.
Right. Well, that's not whose name you're looking for.
Jeff Conway is him.
Jeff Conway takes.
Where does he take you?
But in the second one, you know how they had the Danny Zuko was his cousin Adrian Zemed. Well, the Kaniki character, the tall sidekick, dummy, goofy guy, was the same actor that played Shooter McGavin in Happy Gilmore.
Oh, okay. Right.
I can't think of his name off the top of my head though. He was also in Dutch.
Yeah. He always kind of just plays a douche. Dutch. The Ed O'Neill.
Wow.
Great
the kid.
Okay. Did you show me Dutch? Someone showed me Dutch recently.
I showed you a Dutch oven.
Oh, man. Fuck. We went down a rabbit hole of fucking Shooter McGavin.
That's okay. We hope you enjoyed this episode of Taking the Cynic Route. You can email us at cynicroutepodcast@gmail.com. You can tweet us at cynicroutepod. Check out our Facebook and our Patreon and our website, www.takingthecynicroute.com.